In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NHL games happening on October 16, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NHL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Buffalo Sabres versus Pittsburgh Penguins. It's an exciting matchup between two Eastern Conference teams looking to gain some momentum as they face off in Pittsburgh. The Buffalo Sabres will be traveling to the Steel City to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins on Wednesday night. Buffalo is coming off a strong 5-2 victory at home against the Florida Panthers, a game they played last Saturday. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh enters this game following an impressive 6-3 win over the Montreal Canadiens on the road on Monday night. In their last 10 meetings, the Sabres have the upper hand with a 5-3-2 record and have won the last 2 games, including a 3-1 victory on the road in their most recent contest on January 6, 2024. The Penguins have historically performed well at home against the Sabres, boasting a 7-3-0 record in their last 10 matchups in Pittsburgh. However, the Sabres have struggled when playing as underdogs on the road against the Metropolitan Division, posting a 2-5-3 record during the 2023-2024 season. Pittsburgh has capitalized on opponents' weak goaltending, and the Sabres goaltenders, Devin Levy and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, may not be the strongest in net. This could lead to Pittsburgh scoring a substantial number of goals, while limiting Buffalo's ability to do the same. Additionally, Pittsburgh is likely to be highly motivated, seeking to redeem themselves after a lackluster performance in their home opener. Both teams have faced early season challenges. Buffalo has struggled to find the back of the net, managing just 3 goals in their first 3 games before breaking out with 5 goals against Florida. On the other hand, Pittsburgh has alternated between wins and losses in their first 4 games, though they were shut out 6-0 by the New York Rangers in their season opener. A boost to Pittsburgh's offense came over the weekend with the return of Brian Rust, who adds firepower to their scoring lineup. The Sabres showed their potential with an impressive upset win over the Panthers, but consistency has eluded them in recent years. It's difficult to have confidence in Buffalo because of their inability to string together successful seasons. On the flip side, while the Penguins have been inconsistent through their first few games, their better performances have shown promise, indicating there's more to this team than meets the eye. Historically, the Penguins tend to play their best hockey at home, and the home team has won 7 of the last 10 games between these two teams. Buffalo finally got their first win of the season in their last game, but they have struggled offensively, scoring only 1 goal in 3 of their first 4 games. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh has shown they can put up big numbers offensively, scoring 6 goals in each of their 2 wins, though they have allowed 10 goals in their 2 losses. Despite a 6-0 loss to the Rangers in their home opener, Pittsburgh has improved in their last 3 games. While the Sabres may prove to be the better team later in the season, it's hard to trust them to score consistently right now. Until Buffalo demonstrates they can score multiple goals as a road team, it's wise to be cautious about betting on them. The current odds are favorable for Pittsburgh, making the Pittsburgh Penguins money line our full game side pick. Buffalo has seen the under hit in 3 of their 4 games this season, largely due to their offensive struggles. They are averaging just 5 goals per game, and that number dips to 4 goals per game in their only road contest, which took place in Prague as part of their season-opening series against the Devils. On the other hand, Pittsburgh has seen the over hit in 2 of their first 4 games, with 1 push, as they've averaged a total of 7.5 goals per game so far this season. However, in their home opener against the Rangers last Wednesday, that number dropped to 6 goals. Considering these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Kings versus Toronto Maple Leafs. The Los Angeles Kings are set to hit the road to face off against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Scotiabank Arena. The Kings currently hold a record of 1-0-2, while the Maple Leafs enter the matchup with a 2-1-0 standing. Last season, these two teams faced each other twice, with each side taking home a victory, making this upcoming meeting an interesting tiebreaker of sorts. Both teams will be looking to gain an edge early in the season, and this game could serve as a key indicator of how they match up going forward. The Toronto Maple Leafs are riding high after back-to-back back-to-back 4-2 wins and will aim to keep the momentum going as they host the Kings on Wednesday night. The Leafs have shown notable improvement under the guidance of new head coach Craig Berube, whose emphasis on being a tougher, more defensively sound team is already paying off. This approach has helped them achieve a strong team goals against average of just 1.67 through their first 3 games. Additionally, the newly appointed team captain, Auston Matthews, is due for a breakout performance as he has yet to score this season. Many are anticipating that this could be the game where he finds his form. Toronto's forward depth is formidable and poses a significant challenge for most opponents, while the defense has also been bolstered by the offseason acquisitions of Chris Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Anthony Stolarz is expected to start in goal, and his reliable play in his 2 starts thus far has solidified his position as a strong option for the Leafs in net. On the other hand, the Kings are coming off a wild and disappointing 8-7 overtime loss to the Ottawa Senators. In that game, the Kings' defense and goaltending faltered significantly, leaving much to be desired as they head into Toronto. Defensive issues and uncertainty in net are concerns that Los Angeles will need to address quickly if they hope to turn things around. Compounding their problems is their difficulty staying out of the penalty box, racking up 44 penalty minutes over their first 3 games. This could be a major issue against a Toronto team whose power play is highly effective and likely to capitalize on any mistakes. Heading into a matchup against a team like the Maple Leafs with defensive vulnerabilities and penalty troubles is a recipe for trouble, and the Kings will need to clean up their play if they hope to compete. Historically, Toronto has fared well in this matchup, holding a 6-3-1 record in their last 10 meetings against Los Angeles. Last season, Toronto's offense was one of the best in the league, ranking 2nd in goals per game and 7th in shots per game. While they were shut out in their season opener, the Leafs quickly found their offensive stride, scoring 4 goals in each of their next 2 games. Meanwhile, the Kings have struggled to generate offense against Toronto, averaging just 1.9 goals per game over their last 10 meetings. This lack of scoring has often put Los Angeles at a disadvantage in these matchups, and unless they can find a way to break through Toronto's defense, they may be in for another tough night. While the Kings showed value as a strong road team last season, there's a growing sense that the extensive travel may be taking a toll on them early this year. Through their first few games, they've shown lapses both offensively and defensively, and allowing 8 goals in their last game raises questions about their consistency. Given Toronto's skill level and the fact that they will be playing on home ice, the Maple Leafs seem to have the edge in this matchup. With home ice advantage and an increasingly well-rounded team, the Toronto Maple Leafs money line is our full game side pick. When it comes to scoring, the Kings have historically struggled to put the puck in the net against Toronto, averaging only 1.9 goals per game in their last 10 meetings. However, the Maple Leafs haven't been overwhelmingly dominant in terms of offensive output against the Kings either, averaging just 3 goals per game in that same span. Last season, both matchups between these 2 teams stayed under the projected goal total, and overall, the under has hit in 7 of their last 10 encounters. Given the trends and the current state of both teams, this looks to be a lower scoring affair. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Boston Bruins versus Colorado Avalanche. The Boston Bruins, currently sitting at a 2-2-0 record, have experienced a somewhat uneven start to the 2024-2025 season. Despite their inconsistency, the team has been involved in 4 highly competitive games, and they now enter this road trip with hopes of finding their rhythm. With their sights set on establishing momentum, the Bruins are eager to make their mark as they continue to navigate the early part of the season. On Wednesday, the Bruins will face the Colorado Avalanche, who have stumbled out of the gate with an uncharacteristic 0-3-0 record. Colorado's sluggish start to the season has raised concerns, particularly with multiple key players battling injuries and a roster filled with unanswered questions. Given their struggles, it's difficult to envision how the Avalanche will bounce back in this matchup against a determined Bruins squad. In their first 4 games, the Bruins managed to split the results, with both of their losses coming against the reigning Stanley Cup champions. In contrast, the Avalanche dropped all 3 of their opening contests. Offensively, Boston has shown more promise, giving them a clear advantage heading into this game. Colorado has been disorganized defensively, allowing at least 6 goals in each of their first 3 outings. Additionally, their special teams have been abysmal, killing fewer than 60% of their penalties so far, which could spell trouble as they attempt to contain the Bruins' attack. On the other hand, Boston has been much more solid defensively and has excelled on special teams, successfully killing over 90% of their opponents' power plays. This strong defensive performance should help them limit Colorado's offensive opportunities. While this matchup between 2 high-profile teams would typically draw a lot of attention early in the season, Both clubs are still searching for consistency. However, with Colorado's ongoing defensive issues and inability to allow fewer than 6 goals per game, it's hard to see them pulling off a win against a quality opponent like the Bruins at this point. Adding to the Bruins' confidence, they have dominated the Avalanche in recent matchups, holding a 4-1 record in their last 5 head-to-head games, with a total of 22 goals scored over that span. Despite the odds potentially tempting bettors to back the Avalanche, their poor defensive form makes it difficult to justify betting on them. The Bruins, while not perfect, have been sharper overall, and it's reasonable to expect them to hand Colorado another tough loss. As a result, the Boston Bruins money line is our full game side pick. Both teams boast some of the brightest stars in the league, with the likes of David Pastrnak, Nathan MacKinnon, and Cal Makar leading their respective sides. Historically, these matchups have been high-scoring affairs, with at least one team tallying 4 or more goals in 9 of their last 10 meetings. For the Bruins, the over has hit in 6 of their last 10 games, including their only road game this season, where they conceded 6 goals. Through their first 4 games, Boston has allowed a total of 15 goals. Similarly, the Avalanche have seen the over hit in 7 of their last 10 games, having given up 20 goals in their first 3 outings, with their goaltenders combining for a save percentage of just .785 on the season. Boston has played over the total in 3 of their last 4 games, while Colorado has gone over the total in each of their last 3. The Bruins are averaging 3.75 goals per game and will be up against a Colorado team that has allowed 12 goals in 2 home games, including a goaltender who has given up 11 goals in his last 3 starts against them. The Avalanche, meanwhile, are averaging 3.33 goals per game, but will face a Bruins defense that has conceded at least 3 goals in 3 of their last 4 games and 6 goals in their only road game this season. The two teams have played over the total in 2 of their last 3 meetings, making over the projected total our full game total pick. Utah Hockey Club versus Anaheim Ducks. The Anaheim Ducks are set to face off against the Utah Hockey Club on Wednesday at the Honda Center. The Ducks have had a slightly better start this season compared to last year, securing 2 points over their first 2 games, which currently positions them 4th in the Pacific Division standings. On the other hand, the Utah Hockey Club has accumulated 6 points from their 4 games, placing them 3rd in the Central Division. This matchup will give both teams a chance to test their early season form against one another. Utah ran out of steam in their recent game against the New Jersey Devils, who demonstrated why they are viewed as legitimate championship contenders. Despite that setback, Utah's ability to score has been impressive, especially in their earlier games where they managed to put 5 goals past the Islanders and 6 against the Rangers. Meanwhile, the Ducks have shown some positive signs in their first 2 outings but are still struggling offensively. A lot of their success going forward will rest on the performance of goaltender Lukas Dostal, who, along with the defense, faces a formidable challenge in trying to slow down Utah's potent offense. So far this season, Clayton Keller has been a standout player for Utah, contributing 3 goals and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Dylan Guenther has already netted 5 goals in just 4 games. With players like these leading the charge, I believe Utah has more than enough offensive firepower to overcome the Ducks' defense. Anaheim has had a hard time generating offense, particularly on the power play, and scoring just 3 goals in 2 games does not bode well for their chances. Their inability to find the back of the net even against a weaker opponent like the San Jose Sharks is concerning. In contrast, excluding their loss to the Devils, Utah has been consistently scoring 5 or more goals per game. The Utah Hockey Club has kicked off the season on a strong note, reminiscent of the red-hot start the Vegas Golden Knights had during their inaugural season. Given their momentum, Utah seems like the safer bet to continue their winning ways. On the other side, the Ducks have only played 2 games, so there's not much data to draw from, but what we've seen so far isn't encouraging, particularly on offense. Utah will be playing their 4th consecutive road game, which could present some challenges, especially with the season still in its early stages and players finding their rhythm. However, based on current form, Utah's offensive prowess gives them the edge, making the Utah Hockey Club moneyline our full game side pick. The Ducks will likely attempt to slow the pace of the game once again. They managed to neutralize the San Jose Sharks and even held the Golden Knights to just 1 goal through the first 45 minutes of that contest. However, as mentioned earlier, Anaheim's offense looked sluggish in the opening week. They went 0 for 6 on the power play, and their shooting percentage of 5.7% ranks 29th in the league. One positive note is their penalty kill, which has successfully neutralized 6 of 7 opposing power play attempts. Additionally, the under has hit in 5 of their last 6 games, which highlights their recent low-scoring trends. While I'd like to lean towards betting on the over, Anaheim's lack of offensive production makes that difficult to justify. I don't expect Utah to maintain their blistering pace of scoring 5 or more goals per game indefinitely, and with Dostal coming off a shutout performance in his last outing, I feel confident Utah will be held to 4 goals or fewer. Meanwhile, Anaheim's offense hasn't shown me anything that suggests they'll score more than 2 goals. Given that both of the Ducks games this season have hit the under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.